Hi everyone, this is Jeff from JLB Mixing. Today I am going to be working on a kick drum, and I want to show you some EQ and compression methods to mix an acoustic kick drum. This is a drum kit that I recorded with 14 mics, 2 kick mics, and we'll talk about that in a second, a couple snare mics, hi-hat, top and bottom rack tom, top and bottom floor tom, stereo overheads, mono room, and stereo rooms. Certainly you can record drums with less mics or more if you get crazy. There are a lot of cool methods out there for like 3 mics, 4 mics, 8 mics. But this is I got detailed. I wanted a really modern poppy sound. This is a song that's piano and acoustic driven pop rock, and so this is what I've decided. Let's get right into this here. Let's listen to these drums. These are dry drum tracks. Pretty good dry drum sounds, but we're going to sweeten them up a little bit. Let's talk about kick drum. Here we go. Since there are 2 microphones on the same drum, the first thing you need to do is check the phase. The phase is the timing from when the drum is hit to when the microphone hears the sound. And these mics are different distances slightly, so they're going to hear the sound in a slightly different timing. So what I did when I tracked these is I flipped the phase in and out on the outside mic as I was listening. The phase button on my mic preamp, and most mic preamps will have that. You just listen and flip it in and out and listen to both mics at the same time at the same level, and you get a sense of what's more in phase. When you flip it out, if it's got a papery, thin sound and you lose a lot of low end, then you're going to want to flip it back to where it was. You're going to want to choose the one with the more low frequencies. And this is what I came up with after trying that. There's the 2 kick mics by themselves. Okay, so I did that when I was tracking. You might get tracks from a client where they didn't do that, and so it's important to do that. It's important to do that on any source where it's 1 source and 2 microphones or more than 2 microphones, because you're going to get some phase cancellation, and some frequencies are going to cancel out. It's going to sound hollow. It's going to sound underwater if it's really bad, that kind of thing. But the other thing I like to do, since we're digital these days and we can do that, is to really get in here and look at these waveforms. Where this waveform is crossing the center line, we're going to grab that, and we're going to pull it over to where this waveform at the bottom is crossing the center line. See that there? We're going to zoom in a little further. Okay, that looks good to me. And so in Pro Tools, we have a choice on the editing screen whether we can, when we want to look at bars and beats, minutes and seconds, etc. You want to flip to samples, and all D.A.Ws are going to have a version of this. When you're set to samples here, this highlighted area is going to be measured right here. This is telling us that this length is 42 samples. So this mic is ahead of this mic by 42 samples. That's very close. We could leave that and it'll be no problem, but I'm going to show you this so that you can do it in case your signals are way too far apart. Pro Tools has a time adjuster plugin, and every D.A.W will have a version of this where it'll delay the signal, very small increments. It's by samples here on this Pro Tools one. But because this mic is ahead of this mic by 42 samples, I've typed in 42 samples here, and now we can hear it where they're really tight, right exactly in phase. I'll bypass. It's very subtle, but I think the low mids tighten up a bit. Yeah. Okay, I like it with it on. Use your ears. Always use your ears. Okay, now that we know we're in phase, next step is let's listen to just the inside mic. And we're going to talk about some EQ. It's pretty good. That's an Audix D6 kick drum mic. I really recommend those. I love them, but you can do this with any of the kick mics. Sennheiser 602, Shure, Beta 52 is a classic. But yeah, I really love this D6. Anyway. Let's get some EQ going here. This is the Slate Virtual Mix Rack. I really love the Slate plugins. recommend these as well. But I'm going to show you how to do this exact same thing with stock Pro Tools plugins too. You can do this with anything. All right, let's listen to this thing. Right off the bat, I want to pull some low-mid ugliness out of this drum. Kick drums are going to have that. This drum I know really well, and I know that in the 300 to 350 range there's some ugliness. You're going to have that on any kick between 200 and 400. I'm going to show you what that sounds like. Let's exaggerate this frequency. It's boxy. It's gross. 400's pretty gross. 200 can be gross. I'm thinking the ugliest spot is around 320 or so. So let's dip that down. I'm going to take that down. Let's exaggerate that. That's turning it down 15 dB. It makes it pillowy, nice and soft. And we like that, but this is too much, obviously. We're going to do maybe 5 dB. It's sounding a little better. Okay. Now I want to add some top end. Some air. This is not a metal song or a hard rock song. We don't want it to be too knocky, too snappy. So we're going to start up top. I'm going to boost a shelf at 10K. 10K is pretty high, but I like it. Listen to what it does to this kick drum. Obviously way more than we're going to use, but it's nice. It's got some air on it. And you can play around with the frequency that you want to do. You might want to just do a bell instead of a shelf, which just means it's a boost at 10K and a little bit around it. I like a shelf. We're going to do all that high end, that air, that really high stuff. I like that. Yeah, 4.5 dB boost. That's not bad. All right, I still want some more snap, but not the crunchy metal snap. Crunchy metal snap is going to be like 1K, 2K, 3K. You can really exaggerate that stuff in metal, and it's okay. But let's start higher. The higher you start in this high-mid area, it's going to be... I like to say it's a little softer of an attack. I don't know why. It sounds softer to me. Let's boost 5K. That's nice. Let's see what it does when we widen our curve here. It's too much. We just need a subtle snap. I'm gonna make this bell curve a bit thin here, and we're gonna pull it down. Let's see. So with no boost at 5, and then with a boost at 5. That's nice. Still sounds pretty natural to me. I'm not gonna go too far. Next, what I might do if I only had this one mic is boost a little sub frequency. In the kick drum world, we're talking between 60 hertz and sometimes 80 hertz, sometimes even up to 100 if the drum is smaller. This is kind of a standard 22-inch kick. It's got some frequencies. It's got some information down here in the sub that are really nice. I'm not going to boost any low in this drum. In fact, I've done a little low roll-off at 39. Let's go 40 and down just to tighten it up a little bit. I'm going to use the outside mic to give me that nice subby stuff. So here's our EQ'd inside kick mic. Okay, I'm liking that. Let's listen to the outside mic. It's pretty cool already. I'm going to scoop out some low mids just like I did on the other one, and I did the same kind of, boost this and look around, move the frequency point around, decide what the ugliest thing is and what I like best. I decided on around 270 was what I wanted to duck out a little bit. Makes it softer, more pillowy. We like that. All right. And here I decided to boost something in the mids that's much lower. Up here on this inside mic, we boosted 5K, remember. This, I'm boosting 1.5K. It sounds really cool. I'm going to start with it flat. I like that a lot. That's exaggerated, obviously, but you can really hear the front head. The head's got a really cool sound to it. And this is poppy stuff, and it's kind of acoustic-based stuff, so I really like that. Let's go with a 5, maybe even 6 dB boost there. I'm not afraid. I'm just using my ears. All right. And I don't know whether I'm going to need to boost any of this low stuff. I think there's plenty of it in there. I think what we need to do instead is take some high end out, because as you can hear, this mic is outside the drum, so it's a condenser, so it's picking up a lot of cymbals and snare and everything, things that are not the kick drum. We want to mask that a little bit, but so let's go here and use our high shelf and actually pull some high frequencies down. So I've decided here that at 7K and above, I'm going to pull things down, and we're going to lose a lot of that hi-hat and that snare and the cymbals when he crashes the cymbals. See, that's a lot softer. I like that a lot. So now we can focus on our low end. I'm going to pull out a little more of this low mid. Okay. So let me show you the same thing. I did the same thing here with the stock Pro Tools plugins. Same frequency points. 320, I pulled down a little bit. 5K, I boosted for the snap, that high snap. And then 10K, that air, that top end air. Listen to that drum with this. There we go. Sounds good. You can do it with any EQ plugin. I'm going to go back to this Slate one because I like it better, but you know, you can do it with anything. I'm going to show you the outside mic. Same EQ points, 1.5K, high shelf. I brought it down a little lower on this. But we can make it the exact same thing, just for the example. We lose a lot of that high end. That's good. That's nice. These plugins are going to sound a little different, of course, but use your ears, like I said. All right. Let's go back to the inside mic and talk about some compression. This is the Slate VCA compressor. It's great. I'm going to show you the same thing with the stock Pro Tools compressor. I like, with kick drums, anywhere from ratio of 2:1 to 3:1 is good. Right here I've chosen 2.5 to 1. Slow attack time, fast release time. The reason for that is when you have a slow release time, that's going to allow your kick to have that punch and that attack come through. The faster the compressor reacts, the more of that initial kind of transient you're going to lose. So if you want it to soften up the attack of the drum, that is, you make the attack of the compressor faster. Let's listen to this with the compression. Okay, and I don't compress a whole lot. A little goes a long way here because you can really overcompress in a hurry, and it may not sound overcompressed by itself. Let's compress it a lot. I'm going to show you what that sounds like. Yeah, see, I mean, it sounds kind of cool, but it's way too much. And especially once you start adding other tracks on top of it, your drum kit's going to quickly become pretty fatiguing and overcompressed sounding. So let's see the loudest part of the song. I know he hits the kick a little harder in the chorus, so let's listen to the chorus. And we're going to set our compressor threshold to that. So the hardest hits, it's only compressing 3 dB. And if you want that punchy kick, don't compress it a whole lot. Just a little goes a long way. All right. Back to our outside mic. We've got our EQ in. Let's turn on our compressor. Same thing here, 2.5 to 1. I set the threshold in the chorus because that's where he's hitting it the hardest. My attack time is a little faster. I didn't want this outside mic to be quite as, punchy, so I adjusted that just to taste, just to my ear. I listen and turn knobs. That's really all I do. It doesn't matter what the knobs look like in the end. If it sounds good, it's good. All right. Let's talk about the stock, doing the same thing with the stock compressor. We'll turn off this compressor here. I have this set to the same type of thing, 2.5 to 1. The release time is fast. The attack time is slow. This is what it sounds like with this stock compressor. Again, only compressing at the most 3 to 1. This meter is not very sensitive. Show you that. There you go. When he digs in, it goes to 3. Same stuff, different plugins. Same thing here. on the outside mic. Same settings, generally, as close as I could get them. Sounds good. Use your ears. Etc., etc. You get the idea. All right. So we have our compression and our EQ on both of these mics. What I'm going to do now is blend the mics together the way I want to hear them. So let's start off with none of the outside mic. Just listen. And we're going to roll in this outside mic until we like that nice pillowy low end. And you're going to need to be listening on high-quality headphones or studio monitors to hear this low stuff. If you're listening on your laptop or your iPhone, may not be the best idea, but I like it like right about like that. Sounds a little attacky right now, but trust me, once you get everything else in, the bass and the guitars and piano on top, we're going to want that. And if it's still too much, we can adjust it. It's important to solo your tracks and, sweeten them a little bit and do what you like then. But it's more important to go back once you've added everything else and do not solo them and make your EQ changes while you're listening in context, because in the end, it does not matter what this kick drum sounds like soloed. You're the only one who's going to hear it that way. At this point, I'd say for me, I like to make an aux track so that I have one fader for all my kick mics. Sometimes I even have 3 kick mics. And you definitely don't want to be looking at 3 different faders for a kick drum. It's a kick drum. It's going to make it easier to be creative when you're mixing when you just have one fader for your kick. So once you like your relationship here, which I do, send it to an aux. The input of this aux is set to bus 1, so we are going to send the outputs of these 2 channels to bus 1. Magic. So now we have one fader for our kick. All right, that's some kick drum EQ and compression. Thanks for watching. Go to jlbmixing.com for more of these tutorials. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. Again, I'm Jeff, and this is jlbmixing.com. Thank you.